In today's video, I'm going to be breaking down how to turn $100 into $30,000. And how I know this is because I've done it 5 different times just this year to prove that it is possible. And not only has it worked for me, but it's also worked for my students in my community of over 55,000 people. So it is proven to work time and time again. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down everything I look for in my strategy to take a trade. And then at the very end, I'm also going to be reviewing some of my past trades and sharing my insights so that you guys can hopefully understand the strategy by the end of this video. And you guys yourselves can take $100 to whatever is possible. I'm so excited to dive into this video today because not only has this strategy changed my students' life, but also has changed mine to have the freedom to spend time where I choose each and every day while I'm just looking at the market for an hour, 2 hours a day. So with that said, let's jump into the charts and break down the strategy. First thing I look for in this strategy is going to be a trend. Okay, the market moves in 3 directions: sideways, up, or down, and I want to identify which one are we in on the 1 minute time frame. Okay, so first and foremost, we're going to be looking at the 1 minute time frame, and I'll get into higher time frame here in a little bit. But first thing, we want to develop a trend. All right, we can see price is bouncing off this level time and time again, all the way back to here. So first thing that we can see is we have a strong trend developing. Now that I have this identified, I am going to be sitting on my hands until we get a break of this trend. And it's very important to draw the correct trend. You want it to have more touch points. You want it to, every time it gets to that level, it soaks off of it and makes another move higher. That is how you know you're in a solid trend. I don't want to be trading micro trends with just a couple touch points. I want to see more than 2 touch points on that trend. Once I have this trend drawn, most of the time, I just want to see a break. Okay, but before we see a break, I want to step up to higher time frame. Before I even watch this, okay, I have my trend drawn. Now I want to step up to the 1 hour, 4 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, and I want to see, is there any higher time frame confluence that I can add to this trade? Is there any fair value gaps up there that we're going to be rejecting out of to break this trend? What is going to make price break this trend on a micro time? So we have this trend drawn on the 1 minute. Is there higher time frame confluence that's going to make this break the trend? It's going to bounce up into that higher time frame and reject out of. So I want to check that. I want to make sure that I'm not going to be shorting into a huge bullish fair value gap. You know, that's not what we want to do here. We want to increase our odds. So I want to see what is it up here that we can reject out of to break this trend, okay? Once I can see that, I get a good read on it. I'm going to be just setting alert on this trend. All right, add alert on Ray. That's what I do. All right, and then I'm done. So now I can go about my day, do whatever I need. And as soon as I get that trend break, I know okay, there's higher time frame confluence that it's rejecting out of to break that trend. So now I'm going to come to my charts and see. What I want to see out of this trend is a large displacement move, okay? And when I say displacement, I mean large, high impact fair value gaps. I want to see a fair value gap break this trend or make its way fair value gap here, breaking the trend and then break it, because that is what we want to trade out of. And to add confluence to my trade, I would love to see it inverse a couple bullish fair value gaps here. So I want to see some inversed fair value gaps that we created on this move up, breaking through them, creating a large displacement move with fair value gaps. Because what I'm looking for, now that we broke this trend, I'm looking for price to have a reversal. Okay, after we break this trend, we're obviously going up. It means price is going to want to move into one of the 2 directions, either a sideways trend or a downwards trend. We're trying to catch those downward trends. Okay, so not only, we're not going to enter right here. Okay, that's not what we're going to do. We're going to wait for price to retap and retest this trend line and tap into the displacement it left behind, hoping statistically, we want it to bounce out of this and create a new downwards trend. And we want to catch this move to sweep out these lows that we just created. So that's where our TPs are going to be at some of these high key swing points. Okay, not necessarily up here, but we want to sweep out some of these lower swings and also look if there's any lower fair value gaps on larger time frame that we need to TP out of, because we could get a bounce. Okay, we not only need to have a good entry, we need to have a good exit. We need to stop holding on and then it bounces all the way back up to here, stops us out for break even. That's not what we want, because look, we could have been bouncing out of a high time frame fair value gap here, or it swept liquidity and we're going to continue back up. We need to take profit in the proper places in order for this strategy to work. I see too many people take a great trade and they just hold on for home runs. Listen, base hits grow the account. You'll catch a home run with this. You'll catch a huge downwards trend, but we need to keep trailing our stop loss and taking some profit at those key levels. Okay, we don't have to take all, you have to take majority though. That is the strategy. Statistically, that works. What doesn't work is constantly holding and getting stopped out at break even and then trying to catch 1 or 2 home run hits. Okay, this is a base hit home run. That's how it works. We get hot with the base hits. We get hot with them. And then eventually we will catch a home run to where we took 50% out here, and then it absolutely dumps who knows where. So that is the strategy we are going to use. Now let's go over to the charts and actually kind of run through the analysis I had today and show you the trade I took. All right, going into market open, I can see we have this beautiful upward trend right here. Every time we get to this trend line, we are bouncing off of it and creating new highs. Okay, this is a golden trend line because every time we get to it, we are bouncing, creating higher highs and all the way up. Now, next thing I want to do now that I have this trend line is climb my way up. I'm going to go to the 5 minute and look at this trend. Okay, I can see the 5 minute. There's a lot of bearish fair value gaps up here that we might want to reject out of. You can see there's one here, one here, one here. So that's pretty good. We're going to step up to the 15 minute now. I'm just going to keep making my way up. You could jump right to the 1 hour if you want and just see. You know, the more knowledge you can have of all time frames, the better. So in this one, we can see there are a lot of fair value gaps up here that we can reject out of. So now let's jump up to the 1 hour and we can see we are rejecting out of this 1 hour time frame. Beautiful. So now we have higher time frame confluence that it is rejecting out of, and this might have enough energy to break the current trend. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back down to the 1 minute now, and we're going to look. We're starting to reject out of that 1 hour gap. And if you can see here on the 1 minute, we are getting ready to break our trend. We're starting to bounce off of it. So now let's play this out real quick. We're starting to bounce off of it, boom, we get our break. There is our trend break, okay, with high impact fair value gaps. So we have this fair value gap right here that you can see that I like. The reason I like this fair value gap is for a couple different reasons. Number one reason why I like this fair value gap is this is the one that broke the trend. That is high impact. This is the current fair value gap that broke the trend. We also inversed all of these fair value gaps back here. So now if I just extend this fair value gap, we can see we're also at a key level. We have an inverse fair value gap right here that we might want to retap into. And then we inverse all of these fair value gaps. So this is a high impact fair value gap that I like. And also if we tap back into this fair value gap, it's also retesting this line right here, which is the 20 EMA on the 1 hour time frame, which price often likes to reject and uses support and resistance. So knowing that I have all these confluences added up, if price retaps into this fair value gap, I'm going to watch what it's doing inside that fair value gap to possibly take a trade. So now let me go ahead and put where I would like to take this trade at. And then I'll adjust it as we get price, probably targeting out, I would say, let me set my stop loss probably to about right there. And then I would be targeting this displacement down here that we can see. This is large displacement that we've held, so price might want to reject out of this again. So I'm gonna go ahead and move TP into this fair value gap, most likely, possibly even a little bit lower. I'm gonna say around right here, and then I'll kind of adjust the trade as we go. Let's play it and see how this plays out. Okay, we haven't tapped into it yet. We have not tapped into it yet. Still haven't tapped into it. Still no. Okay, oh, right there. Boom. Let me pause this. So you can see the trade playing out already, but we can see we finally tapped into this displacement, retesting the underside of this trend. I took my entry at the midpoint of this fair value gap, risking these highs up here, not even the highs totally, but the wicks of them, because if we break above that, we might want to take those highs. And again, if we get stopped out, that's okay. If you have a 70% win rate, you're going to take 30% of them are going to be losses. And those might be good losses, good trades. It's just statistically, you're going to take a few losses, 3 losses out of 10. You need to have that stop loss there to mitigate your risk if you are wrong about your thesis and about your trade. But this one, you can see we tapped into it. We took our starter. I told you why. You guys should know by now. And then you can see we get a great reaction sweeping out full TPs right here. Now let's play this out and see where it goes. Okay. We left some profit on the table here, but again, I would probably take 80% off here. And then I would mitigate my stop loss all the way to above this huge fair value gap we have right here. So it would be trailing right there. And let's see where this plays out. Boom, boom, boom. Took our stop. Made $1,500 on this trade. We made a risk to reward. Let me look. Our risk to reward on this trade was 1 to 6. So if you risked $100, you would have made $600 on this trade. And this is the strategy I love. And also, there is a ton of information about there because all this is smart money concepts in my own way. That's all this is. I'm not going to be like, oh my gosh, I invented this strategy. No, I use this strategy and I critique it and add to it to what fits best and what has the best win rate and what makes the most sense. I want mechanical entries. I don't want my emotions to get involved. That's why I love this strategy so much. Now, if we look back here, we rejected off of this EMA, this 1 hour 20 EMA. We also retested the other side of the trend. We tapped into our displacement here, and then we absolutely get a great reaction out of it, $1,500 on the morning. All right, this took me no longer than 30 minutes to make $1,500. So that's why this strategy is so powerful. And not only do I make money from this strategy, if you look, and I'll pop them up here, our students make money from this strategy. That's how I know it works. If I was the only one to make money from this strategy, I'm like, okay, I must just have great intuition. But no, this strategy is so mechanical that even our students with not much experience are making money with it because of how mechanical it is. Now, a few mistakes I see a lot of beginners use this strategy make is, again, they try to hit home runs and they're not taking profit as we get a huge sell-off and they get stopped out for break even once we come all the way back up here. And number two, they're not drawing the right trends. They're drawing really weak trends that we get a break, we tap into it, and price is just moving. You have to look at the overall larger trend. Now, here's another one that I could show you, and I'll keep playing price out because I saw this morning. I didn't take it because, again, I made $1,500. But if you zoom out here, you can see we are in a large downtrend, a large downtrend. That's another reason why I like that short is we are rejecting off of this large downtrend. This is a large downtrend that we are getting lots of rejections off of, showing that this is obviously resistance to price. So now let's play this out and see if we can get a possible trade opportunity here. Boom, we get our break of our trend right there. We get our break of our trend, this huge downward trend that you guys can see right here and all the way up to there, all the way down to here. I'm going to zoom in here just so you guys can see better. We get our break of our trend right there, that huge downward trend. We just caught this short. Now we get a break of this larger downtrend, and I'm going to play it out here. Price moves up, we bounce back there. Now the fair value gap that I was looking for in this is right here. This was the fair value gap I wanted this candle to tap into. I would have gone long out of that, but we just missed it. All right, and that happens. Sometimes it doesn't reach our entry. We're not going to be taking a starter up here. We want to see it enter this high impact fair value gap that literally broke the trend right there. This is a high impact trend break, and then it's retesting these highs right here, but I wanted to see it retest a little bit more in order for me to take my long. Let's see where this trade went if we did get our entry. And again, this will show how strong and powerful this strategy truly is. Again, it almost got close right there again. I would have definitely still taken the trade right there because we're retesting the bottom side of this trend right here. I would have taken it, but it didn't get low enough for me to want to take that. And then you can see we absolutely go to full TPs right there. I would have been targeting upwards of these highs right here, which we would have gotten all out right there. This would have been a banger trade. Now I'll draw it out for you guys so you guys can see as well exactly where I would have wanted to take this trade. I would have wanted to take it there, risking the low right here of this fair value gap, high impact fair value gap. And then I would have been targeting these highs right here for another 1 to 8. This would have been a 1 to 8, risking $100, making 800, but we just missed an entry, and that's okay. This shows that our thesis was right. This trade is, this trading strategy is absolutely killer, and this would have banked. But again, we missed our entry. It is what it is, and we got a beautiful piece off of that. All right, guys, thank you for watching this video. If you guys like this, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be posting a lot more educational content because I truly want to help as many of you guys as possible and create an impact on this crypto world. Okay, so make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and also don't forget, in the description, I have a free Discord that I trade live with every single day, and I give signals of trends I like, trends I'm watching, trend breaks I'm watching. You guys can get that for absolutely free. All you have to do is click the link in the description, join our Discord, and claim your free VIP role. All right, but thank you guys for watching till the very end. Hopefully this helped you guys out a lot, and I'll see you guys in the next video.